Hey guys, and welcome to the Mysteries of Selindor, episode number. What's going on?
52.
No, it's
52.
52, but I'm just wondering what Sim was doing with the.
There was
He
like a
was
bug or
hiding.
something, or I don't know.
Oh,
She's a
okay.
cat.
Well, anyways, if you weren't here for our last session, man, some stuff happened. They finally got to the last room,
Broke a
place,
dungeon.
whatever, to get to the end of the dungeon. But in doing so, they did not do it the way that Norththought had intended, which both pissed off Norththought and really pleased the entity at the end of the dungeon, who went by the name of Zephyros, or the first breath, or the first wind, or let's just say a primordial that was the embodiment of all things air since the beginning of time immemorial, which was a big surprise for any logical person, and yet not so huge a surprise for our players. They were just like, neat.
His Selindor crazy shit
yeah.
happens all the time.
As we made it to the end of a small discussion with Zephyros, who admired their kindness, lots of bargaining and discussion had took place where they came to understand a few things. One is that these fractures they have been absorbing were living entities. Two is that this particular entity there is only one of. And after some discussion, it decided to hedge its bets on New Death being a group that could carry the burden of what it means. So, sacrificing its own consciousness, it made itself into a whole fracture. Which, in doing so, destroyed the dungeon that they were surrounded in, breaking it up into nothing. As it twisted around them, they found themselves falling through the sky, each one reacting as quickly as they could to go somewhere. They found themselves ripped off into different directions in Selindor. Teddy and Mitnir, I believe, fell to the west, Orin to the south, and Grim to the north. While Bropsy, reaching out for the fracture of Zephyros, grabbed it, and in doing so, found themselves outside of the labyrinth winds, floating, or flying, as they do, above Selindor itself, looking out upon all that's happening. In that moment, we'll begin with Bropsy, if she's here.
Bropsy is here.
Bropsy, you look around and you see the winds take your friends in three different directions. As you break free, your eyes initially locked on this beautiful swirl of air and light in your hand, but then noticing your friends being torn away in the distance. What would you like to do?
I acquired the fractures, right? So they're safe.
You have a fracture. You have the one with the wind. I'm pretty sure that Orin telekinesis the
Okay.
fire giant's fracture and has it with him heading south.
Okay. Can I like track them?
Make
Can I see
me.
them?
Who would you like to track? Because they're going in three different cardinal directions.
Orin, I think,
Orin.
is the most important.
Make me a survival check.
I'm pretty good at those. Please. Oof, that's a 15.
15. You
Plus
see
7.
You see as he gets torn around in the torn to the wind, you see that he twists around. You try to follow him with your eyes. You become dizzy for a moment, but you do see he is ejected in a southward direction, still caught in what looks like the air itself. And as you're holding the sword, you can see like the flow of the wind like more clearly than you normally can as a creature of the plane of air. Seeing that he is within a torrent that it's almost like its own little strange worm of air just twisting ahead of him, channeling him to the south. You can attempt to give chase, but it is faster than you've ever seen anything move. It is just, and you're just like, so it's up to you
I
if you
will
want to
attempt.
chase him. All right, so you begin flying in a southward direction. In the meantime, as you begin flying, ooh, haven't decided who I wanted to start with out of you guys yet. I'm going to roll. On a 1 or a 2, it's going to be Seti and Mitnir. And on a 3, it's going to be Orin. On a 4, it's going to be Grim. Orin. As you take hold of this hot, but still somehow comfortable to touch fracture, and you're being pulled through the air, there's a sense of nausea as you're buffeted around inside of what feels like almost like a tube, like a slide through the air carrying you across Selindor. Things are waving by so quickly, reminds you of the last time you fell from the sky, plummeting at incredible speeds, but this one seems more direct, more guided. You did say that you were preparing to get your wings when it looked like you were approaching ground. As you were ripped across to the south, you travel miles that you have not traveled before. There are flashes going off in the distance, darkness and light, almost as if you're passing from night to day, instantaneously flying through the air. And the only thing that locks up to you is... Well, actually, first, would you like to try to fight against this torrent, or will you just let it take you?
I'm going to try and go with the flow.
Go with the flow.
Yeah.
Easily enough, it is easy to follow the flow. It's only fighting against it where you find trouble. But you do see yourself plummeting towards an open volcano. It is coming up ahead of you, and you can see that the air is probably going to throw you down directly into the mouth of an open, bubbling volcano in the middle of what looks to have been, for the past mile or so, maybe hard to tell, desert.
Nice.
So this sort of gray mountain, this bit of stone and molten rock, active volcano, letting smoke rise slowly from the top. And you can see the brass city below glimmering on the side of the cliffs. You do remember that you visited the base of this mountain at one point, passing through when you first arrived in Selindor, and you took a hot springs bath. However, this is...
I am going to be ejected from the airstream before I hit the volcano?
It is really hard to tell, and it is coming up very fast. You're passing over the city, you see the glint of brass, and you see the caldera of the volcano coming up on you.
All right, then I'm going to attempt to shoot myself out the side using the telekinesis ring.
Okay, make me an intelligence check.
Oh boy. These have never gone very good. 15.
15.
Not terrible.
You start launching yourself around, and as you do, you hit the side and you can feel like the wind almost trying to cut at your shoulder, as the sides of this torrent are so strong and so like visceral, so actually have a physical boundary more than it is just air that's currenting you in this direction. But as you begin to force your way out, right as you enter into the lip of the caldera, you begin to edge yourself out a little bit and feel the hot air burning against your shoulder, but you continue to plummet, unable to completely break free of it.
Then I'm going to give it one more go, and at the same time bust my wings out to give another burst.
Okay. So as you pass through the actual caldera into the volcano, you attempt to do this. Make another intelligence check for me.
Is this with advantage?
Actually, you know what? Go ahead and give me a dexterity saving throw instead.
Okay. Ugh. 13.
13. As you begin to try to force yourself out, buffeting back and forth, you almost bounce and slide around inside of this tube as it plummets you straight into the lava. You think for a moment you're dead again. But the next thing you know, you find yourself in pain. Your wings feel like they might have snapped a few bones, but you look up and you find yourself in a cradle. Surrounding you on all sides, it looks like the lava has created sort of like a molten shell around you. and hovering in the very center, still gripped in your hand as you reached up, but locked in the middle of this sort of cocoon of not so hot, but really toasty molten rock, and you holding that fracture in your hand.
Okay, so like, is it completely encircle me?
It's like the top. You can see like the hole up above you, where the like the smoke is rising out, but you can also like hear the bubbling lava on either side of you, so you can still sort of see at the top, but you know that you are slightly submerged in lava right now.
But there's an opening above me.
Yes, there's you can see where like basically it looks like the lava like a boulder hit the lava, but then like the boulder disappeared instantly, but the lava had formed around it, sort of splashed up and solidified.
So can I fly up?
You can certainly try.
Yeah, definitely try.
Okay, as you get up and attempt to fly, are you keeping hold of the fracture, or are you letting it go?
No, I'm keeping it.
Make me a strength check.
I am not rolling good. 7.
As you begin to try to fly, your wings wrench back on you and sort of snap a little bit more, and you hit a searing pain. Take 1 point of damage from the actual pain in your wings. As you begin to fly for a moment.
My wings are incorporeal.
I know.
Okay.
And then
they're not physical or anything.
It's psychic damage. Don't worry about it. As you begin to fly and push away, your minute passes, and your wings fall to the side around you. You take a moment, and looking about from inside, you find yourself half submerged in lava in a pool that just seems to have it has an odd layout to it around this sort of lava pool, but looking around, you see small creatures flitting about across the lava. You see flames dancing just above the molten rock. You see what looks like a small, maybe like a rabbit hopping across the lava. And then as it's moving and turning, it begins to twist and turns into a weasel and continues. And then it dives down into the lava and pops back up as a fish. And there's this strange sort of happening going all around with all these different creatures moving in and out of the flames. And they're still sort of flame-like even as they change forms. But they're still dancing across this pool of lava in uncertain shapes.
Well, I guess I'm just gonna call out, be like, little help here?
Okay, as you call out and say a little help here, there's no response for a moment. And then after a moment, you hear like what sounds like stone sort of sliding off behind you.
I'll look, see what's happening.
Okay. As you look, you see a creature moving into the area. Skin looks like jasper, if you've ever seen that stone. Just this deep, bloody red. Striations underneath what looks like a small veneer of glass-like flesh on this woman as she walks out. She's completely nude while carrying over her arm what looks like a bronze piece of fabric. Her hair is tightly braided to her scalp and down, and looks like ropes that have been caught on fire, singed, and are still currently cindering near the tips. She has small horns coming out of her head, just really nubs more than anything else. She has crimson, beautiful ruby-like eyes. And as she sees this strange, egg-like, molten thing with you standing inside, staring at her, she goes, "Oh, fuck, and immediately covers herself with the bronze-covered fabric. And we will cut ourselves over to the next group.
I think I crashed into someone's bathroom.
New definition of hot tub.
Hot tub. Seti and Mitnir. You find yourselves falling. And then as you grab onto Mitnir and turn him into your own personal flying carpet, you find yourselves in a torrent of air that is ripping you to the south, right? West. Ripping you to the west. Unless I screwed it all up. Who knows? My cardinal directions are all screwed up now. So, as you guys are zipping through the air, similarly to how I described for Orin, you find this thing ripping you away. Would you like to fight it, or would you just like to go with the flow? What's your strategy here?
I'm just hanging on for dear life.
Path of least resistance, probably.
Okay, so Mitnir, as you say, path of least resistance, and you hold on for dear life to your own little sort of flight plan that you seem to have. You find yourself twisting with the wind, almost dancing lightly. You begin moving very quickly, quicker than you've ever moved before, and as you see, it seemed like it shift from light to day in strange, rapid succession. You find yourself plummeting deep towards the underwhelm. You see the tower of Selindor Academy some miles off to your left as you begin plummeting straight down into the water. Is there anything you guys would like to do before you hit?
We have our water-breathing hats on.
Which water-breathing hats do you guys have?
I have the pirate hat.
The pirate hat?
I don't need one.
Oh,
And
that's
you
right.
don't need one. As you're holding on to your pirate hat, make me a... I assume magical items will attempt to grab onto your head, but there's a lot of wind here. It's been buffeting around, so I actually want you to make me a roll to keep your hat.
Wow.
Are we actually like plummeting into water? Like we know that's happening. Like can see the
Yeah,
water.
yeah. Oh yeah.
While she's trying to hold the hat, I'm gonna kind of like cannonball, but like around Seti.
Okay, just kind of like you feel him like so he starts to twist around and like sort of turn his back towards the water and sort of egg himself around you to create sort of a buffet. And as he does, you see your hat starts to pull away. Make me a reflex or dexterity saving throw.
I am at least good at those. Oh, that is the 21.
21. As you reach out and grab your hat, like oh fuck, you begin plummeting into the water, and the boom, a heavy hit, and yet it doesn't slow you down. As you continue to rip deep underwater, you find darkness swelling around you on all sides. What's up?
Well, I was gonna say I can if I have time to both grab my hat and do something else as I notice we're plummeting towards water. I would cast Featherfall.
Well, I will say you can have the hat or you can cast Featherfall.
I will
I'm
keep
pretty
my
sure
hat.
Featherfall's
It
Okay.
is an action. I just
Yeah.
you said
Priorities.
we were falling from very high up. I don't know how far we can see the water.
Yeah, no. Well, see, that's why I asked before you guys got to the. Anyways, but it's okay. So let's just say you were distracted by that, and as you hit the water, you do not slow down. You are plummeting deep, deep underwater. Darkness begins to flood all of your vision, and you go from cold to warm, and you plummet deeper and deeper. The torrent still around you, twisting the water, creating bubbles in all directions. And that's the little tiniest bit of light that you can see. And as finally you feel yourself slowing down, feeling the motion of water proper. The pressure, heavy, but not as heavy as you would expect for how deep you know you are. You would expect to go this deep underwater to cause immediate pressure to your body, especially at the rate you descended, but somehow it feels like maybe you're only a couple meters deep. As you find yourselves in this darkness, what would you like to do?
I thought we already finished the dungeon.
I assume we start trying to swim up as soon as we can get some momentum.
Okay. So you start, like, you're just, at first you're kind of just like swimming against like the current continuously pushing you downwards. But your feet actually touch the bottom.
Oh.
And as you do, you begin to push off and start swimming if you'd like.
What do we see here at the bottom?
Yeah, I was like, can we kind of like...
It's pretty dark, but if you do have dark vision,
We have our headlamps.
okay, you can use your headlamps if you'd like, and then go ahead and make me a perception check without disadvantage if you're using your headlamps.
I normally have advantage on perception, so I can keep my advantage.
Yes, you can.
So there. it is.
Looking for that pirate booty.
20.
13.
13. So both of you are actually able to make out a bit of light coming from behind you. When I say behind, I don't mean like, oh, here comes somebody with a flashlight right behind you. I mean, in some distance over your shoulder to the left, there is a small source of light. It's not directed at you, but you can see just a bit of rays, particularly like coming out from below. And you can see the edge of rock around it. Some of it natural, some of it looks intentionally hewn.
Am I imagining that?
I turn off my headlamp.
As you do, you see the difference. It's quite a bit more.
I point my headlamp right in her face when she does that.
I turn off his headlamp.
Boom. You guys are both blind for a moment. And then you can still see, you don't see as much of the rock around it because that was coming from your own light, but looking at the bit there, you do see this faint glow coming from below the rock.
If I bring my ring into like my little water breathing bubble and like talk into it, can he just hear me normally, like without the water sounds?
Yeah, it's like doing the message spell.
All right, cool. Should we go check that out? There might be, like, it looks like it was built. Maybe there's something or someone there that can help us get to the surface. We can try to swim, but it's a pretty long way, I think.
All you see above you is pitch dark.
Kind of shrugs like,
I don't know what
I
the
guess,
currents are
but you
doing.
just hear bubbles.
Yeah. I don't really have any spells that can help us at this point.
Yeah, a bubble just comes towards you, just like, and it hits your air and goes, hey.
I mean, the hat just remind me. Let me find it. It's
You
just
can
as
breathe
long as I'm wearing it, I can breathe underwater. There's no time
Yeah.
on it.
Yeah,
Yep.
All right, let's go. I mean, how far away is this light?
probably a couple 100 yards.
Closer than the surface, I'm assuming.
You don't know how far the surface is up.
Yeah, just gonna be like, and be like,
But I'll help you out in this sense.
point towards the lights.
There are a few miles of Selindor Tower. At least a few miles of Selindor Tower before the bottom hits the water. Before it hits the bottom of the water.
Uh-huh.
And you're not sure if
Right.
this is a deeper or shallower spot than that,
Yeah.
but
Yeah. I don't think we have much choice. Let's at least take a closer look and see what it is. But stay on your guard, and let's not turn our lights on again unless we have to. We don't want to draw attention to ourselves until we know what we're dealing with, okay?
Just give a thumbs up, like, yep.
Are you okay after all that?
I pats myself down, turns around, and like points at my back, like,
Okay, I meant like mentally, but that's good too.
Just knocks on his head.
Right. I should know better. Okay, let's go.
And then like,
All
start
right.
swimming? Are we swimming
As
or are
you
we
guys-
walking?
I think just like a little bit of both, just like walking along the bottom.
at the bottom, yeah, because you guys are heavy enough with
a
all
little,
your armor.
a little
and
bit of like an
everything,
astronaut
Yeah,
kind of walk.
I'm just gonna kind of keep like a hand on like your belt, like air, like stuff.
Yeah,
just kind of
keep you
like
guys close
keep
because it's
both
pretty dark.
us together.
Mhm.
Okay, as you guys begin swimming in that direction, we're gonna cut over to Grim. Grim. Same as the others, but you find
I
yourself
already
heading
know.
to the north. Are you going to fight against it, or are you going to allow it to take you where it takes you?
Well, I'm a vulture right now, so I'm just gonna sort of like coast.
All right, as you begin coasting in the wind as a vulture, you begin diving relatively quickly and very abruptly down
Yeah, I know where I'm
past the
going.
trees of Selindor, twisting around it in a sort of nauseating way. But as a bird, currently, it is a lot easier to catch the wind and feel it and flow, and not feel quite as nauseous as you think you might be able to.
Oh yeah,
And as
no.
you-
Vultures apparently are really good at like what do you call it? Absorbing oxygen. Apparently they're really good at that. Anyway, sorry. I was looking them up to see what my vulture could do.
Okay.
I was looking
as
up
you
vulture
begin-
facts on the internet.
As you begin plummeting, you think for a moment you're going to be diving down into the underwhelm. Or not the underwhelm, the Howling Divide. But you see, as the storm begins ripping you further, you are going directly into the side of the Howling Divide's cliff face.
This is perfect. Well, we will try to slow ourselves down.
Okay, go
Wait.
ahead and...
Grim knows what he's going to do. I will turn off, as I see that I'm approaching that, I'm going to turn off my, what's that thing called? My polymorph.
Yeah, so I'm going to say, by the way, from now on, if you polymorph, I think your intelligence does get shifted to the animal. If you wild shape, you maintain your intelligence.
Yeah, that's how it works.
Oh, is that how it works? Well, never mind.
Mhm.
Then I have a 2 intelligence.
Aside from that time you made me a really dumb beetle.
No,
Yeah,
don't
because I
worry.
thought it would be cute.
Well, I mean, I am a 2 intelligence vulture then.
Mhm.
But what's up?
Okay, so you're just flying on the wind, having the best of times.
Just
And
gonna
as the
Roll
rocks
on.
start to approach, you're like, oh shit, and you begin
They do have
flapping your wings.
advantage on perception though, with that rely on sight or smell.
Okay, well, you're definitely heading towards some rocks real quick.
I don't. So he'll try like wing buffet.
Okay, as you,
Oh, no.
I'm just gonna say, as a vulture freaking out, you start, and as you do, you watch the rock begins to part
Oh,
and opens up, and as it does, you can't seem to pull yourself away from you. You get sucked into the rock. So anybody who's watching just sees a bunch of air rush by, and a vulture just go and just eaten by a fucking wall.
yeah. I already knew I was going to be like in the ground again.
Meanwhile, though,
Poor Grim always ends up.
at first you think that you were just looking at nothing but darkness in all directions. Just you can feel things moving past you, air still buffeting you around, and the next thing you know, light in all directions, crystal of different shades and shapes and sizes all around you in this sort of ever-shifting, moving tunnel.
Mhm.
As you're constantly moved around, you feel the wind ripping you left and right, back and forth. And as it does, you can feel behind you the snapping jaws of the crystal as it collides back into itself, moves open, and then parts. You see straightaways, long straights. To your left and right, you see more passageways you could take, but you feel the air ripping you in a singular direction as this changing maze happens all around you. As you were going,
But they don't actually make sounds. Apparently, they don't have voice boxes.
aw,
Just
Well,
finally like freaking out.
we'll say for the fake that you go, as you find yourself plummeting into this strange area for a moment, where all the crystal stops and pulls away. You look behind you and in all directions, and there's more or less darkness except for a single, what looks like crystal door, completely circular, locking mechanisms all over it, incredibly intricate, and made out of this green glowing crystal and some sort of metal you can't recognize. As a bird, it looks like a very pretty coin,
Shiny.
very shiny coin.
Am I stopped in front of it?
You begin to like slow down as if you're about to, and you're like, and then suddenly you feel yourself being ripped back into the rocks once again, continuously jettisoned, and you lose sight of it. But for that moment,
Hi, door.
you saw a door, and you were pulled back through the rocks back outside, and you continue on this winding trip. The next thing you know, you're spun out of control. You can see the ground coming towards you. As you look ahead of you, you can see the Crystal Undercity that you've seen before. You begin flapping your wings frantically as you are heading down, away from where the lights are, away from the city itself, towards something, and then crack. The last thing you remember as you plummet headfirst, headlong into the side of whatever, is the sight and the smells of swamp water. And that's where we'll leave Grim for now. Bromsy, you are flying south as fast as you can. So fast, hoping to catch your boy. As he plummets away from you, you feel that same heat in your chest, that fear that you felt as you were being ripped from the plane of air. And then suddenly, as you were flying, you blink, and suddenly you're surrounded by darkness. There's a moment when you realize that your wings are no longer flapping. Your eyes are the only thing that move. You can hear something. Where did it go? I'm not liking this game. You hear from all directions. And then suddenly, light again, and you begin... You're panicking, you're still flying. Is there anything you would like to do, or would you like to keep chasing Orin?
Fuck. Fuck.
You have a moment where you were flying in the air, and it was dark.
Things, right?
You do not,
Wait.
I think. I think the only person who has a return crystal is Mitnir.
I don't know if I even want to do that. Oh fuck. Oh fuck.
So as you were flying in the air, is there anything you'd like to do? Currently, you're looking after where the air torrent is starting to fade. It's like a jet stream behind him starting to fade.
I don't know what I could do.
Well, I mean, would you like to look anywhere, or
Well, yeah.
where would you like to look? That's my question.
I don't know. Do I see anything that looks fucky?
Okay, so you bat your wings and you twist around and begin looking into the distance. Looking around you, from as far as you've flown, it's really negligible for your actual geographical change, right? You begin to turn around, and as you look, you're still above the tree, and yet it feels like it's stretching taller at the moment. And then looking around, there's a moment where you feel something that you've never felt before. And it scares you to your core as the wind stops. You're holding it in your hand, and you can feel yourself still flying, but there is no wind beneath your wings. And as you watch, looking back at Selindor proper, the direction you came from, you watch as one by one airships fall from the sky. You watch as the flying islands in the sky also begin to plummet. And you start hearing screams on the wind that isn't there. So I'll give you a moment to process the situation you're in. We're going to return to Orin.
Ooh.
Orin, there is a naked something another that just wrapped herself very quickly in a metallic towel and said, "Who are you?"
Oh, hi, I'm Orin. I just
Okay, Orin.
kind of dropped
Why are you here?
I don't know.
Tucks herself up as much as possible. How did you get in here?
I landed here.
You landed here?
Yep.
What's that? You're still holding onto the fracture. It's hovering in this sort of middle.
I'm like leaning on it.
Your feet aren't even touching the ground. You're just kind of like...
Oh, that's just a little something I found.
You really can't be here. Being here is not good. And, oh God, especially not good that you've seen what you've seen. You need to hide. Now.
How?
I don't. And you hear the stone door. Milady, I'm coming in. Are you okay? I heard noises. And she goes, fuck. And she does this with her hand, and the next thing you know, there's lava completely over you. Like, you can't see anything. Like, you can see, like, this sort of shell bubble of lava over you. And you can hear, like, oh, milady, are you scared? Did you see something frightening? No, I'm perfectly all right. What's with that bubble of lava? It's nothing. Nothing. It's completely nothing, Bardock. You can go. I am currently, indisposed, as you see. Oh, right. Sorry, my lady. I forgot that you do your, meditation in, sorry. That's quite enough, please. I know that you think it's quite hilarious. The word is nude. I do it in the nude, Bardock. Yes, Lady Caldera. Thank you very much. Would you please return? You are no longer needed. Are you sure that bubble's okay? It's fine, Bardock. Right then, will you holler if you need me? I will do. There's a moment of silence, and then the lava pours off to the side, and you can see now she's very well wrapped up. She's like, okay. Start talking?
Where am I?
You are in a volcanic spa at the back of the Brass Palace.
Interesting.
Yes, it is not a good place to be, as only the Grand Sultan or any member of the royal family is allowed access to this particular spa, as it were. And you watch as a little fiery ferret comes over the top of your little bubble and goes... sort of swats at your hair. That's sort of flowing, doing its thing. And he's just like swatting at it.
What are these things?
Oh. Suppose you really aren't from around here. Those are, fire spirits, as it were. Fire. Do you know how, looking at you, I assume from your world, wizards and the like get familiars? Well, sometimes they come from our plane, and these are the young ones trying to find their forms. It seems that Niffle likes you quite a bit. And you see that this one turns into a turtle, and he's like this little burning turtle, and he's going... and trying to nip you with this little beak.
That's pretty neat. So, you wouldn't happen to know a easy way out of here, would you?
Oh, I do not. The fact that you made it here, in any way, shape, or form, falling included, is beyond me. This place is magically sealed, and to enter it from above is unheard of, and frankly, the fact that you were not instantly eviscerated by the heat is quite impressive.
Honestly, I'm as surprised as you are.
Still hanging on to the...
Yep. I ain't letting go of that thing.
Well, you really can't stay here, and as much as your company does not seem to be the worst of the people who have attempted to peep on me, I would really like to get some clothes on, and it's probably for your betterment, because if you were seeing me like this, you would be beheaded.
Well, I don't want that. And to be fair, I didn't even know you were here.
I completely understand. But we're going to want to move very, very quickly.
I'll try, but this thing isn't budging at the moment.
Well, I don't know. What is it?
It's a fracture of a fire giant guy.
I really have no idea what that is. I know what a fire giant is. I have quite a few friends that are fire giants. One of the main servants in our court is, in fact, a fire giant. He's very nice. But never heard of one turning into a ball. That is between a man and his pursuits. I don't know what that is. But if you must take it with you, figure out how to move it, and you need to move soon. I'll give you 5 minutes tops, and then we are out of here. Now, if you excuse me, I'm going to go put some clothes on. And she dips back in through the door and begins to... You can hear, like, some hurried sounds. You got, like, a few minutes to figure out how you want to try to move this fracture, man. All of the little creatures, the little fire spirits that are bouncing around over the water, are just, like, checking it out, like... There's a little, like, flaming dog just sitting at the bottom, just, like, checking it out, just, like...
I think
picks
I'm
up a leg and pees fire stream towards your...
I'm gonna, like, lean my head right close to it and try talking to it and be like, look, man, I really need you to come with me. I can't leave you here. This is not a good place. We gotta go.
Make a persuasion check?
I guess. I don't know. Persuasion is really not my thing, though. Let's see. Oh, 19.
19. As you say that, there's a moment of nothing, and then it just kind of slowly starts floating towards the edge of the lava pool, shifting the lava around the sphere itself. You're moving slowly towards that direction.
Which direction?
Back the direction she came out from, towards the edge of the lava. Because
some door.
Yeah, it's less a door than it is like, well, you couldn't really see anything. So as far as you can tell, it was just sliding stone happening back there. But it didn't have any like direct markings from the angle that you were looking at. It just looks like a plain flat interior of the volcano.
So am I seeing like lava walls or rock walls?
The walls themselves are rock. They're like, Morpheus rock, and then like a metamorphic rock, and then around it is there's just like piles of like molten bubbling char. It's almost like black lava rock that is like sort of half cooled and then half reheating into its sort of self. It is, and then the magma that sits on top, it has a bit of a crust to it, but you can see that it right beneath it is just pure molten lava. So you should be boiling alive right now. And you're under the impression that if you were not holding on to this thing, you probably would be burning alive right now.
That's what Oren was thinking. That's why he ain't letting go of it.
So it begins hovering in that direction, and as you take those few minutes to hover, and then she walks away. Okay, so we'll say that you continue to float down in this direction, and as the rock begins to grind against the stone and just picks you up out of the lava, there's a moment where you feel the ground beneath you start to soften as this little protective shell begins to seep back into the lava behind you. So I need you to make me a acrobatics check to get out without getting singed.
Oh boy. Okay, 22.
22. You scamper very quickly, like, oh shit, right out of it. And as you touch the ground, you expect, oh, this is going to be hot, but then you feel the same pulse of energy coming from the fracture, and suddenly it's okay for now. It's hot. It's uncomfortable. But your hand very well could have lit on fire in that second. So you begin moving yourself and edging in the direction where you assume that this door must be, and as you begin to move there, you don't seem to see it. And then suddenly, you see that the rock itself begins to slide open, And as it does, there's a sort of twisting brass and copper door that just opens up, and you see this incredibly beautiful creature that you have heard to be known as Lady Caldera standing before you, her hair kept up, sort of wearing like just like a tied sort of tube top sort of thing. And then like a little bit of jewelry she's still like clasping onto her wrists, and like there's a neck piece that's like a choker, just made of solid gold. And then you can see she sort of has like some low attached like sort of like Aladdin style pants coming off the bottom. And she's like, "We need to hurry." And as she grabs onto your hand and you guys begin taking off down the hallway, we will switch back to underwater. Seti, Mitnir, you find yourselves approaching this light source, the small dim glow pulsing beneath the water. As you pass through it, there are many sensations running through you of hot and cold water, like warmth and then chill. Strange, as you've traveled this few thousand meters, the different variations of water temperature along the bottom of the sea. And then as you begin to approach it again, you see that this is a dim green glow and that there are bubbles rising relatively steadily off of it and sort of skipping across the rock in a sort of weird manner that makes it not just float up, but grab the rock, and like the bubbles are rolling up the rock and over the rocks, hugging them, seeming to follow and also defy gravity at the same time.
Are these air bubbles? Or...
You can make me an investigation check if you'd like to get close enough to try to figure that out.
I would, but I'd also like to be really sneaky about it.
Okay, make me a stealth check.
Do I keep my advantage, or is it at disadvantage? I'm underwater.
I'm going to say that it's a flat roll.
Am I having to stealth with her?
If you're attempting to stealth, otherwise you can just swim.
I rolled a 14.
I mean, if I see her trying to like be sneaky, I'm gonna try and follow suit.
Let's see if you see her try to be sneaky.
She would get Mitnir's attention and be like, you know.
It's okay. I got a 4 for my sneakiness.
Okay, so Mitnir is swimming, and then you grab him, and you're like, "Shh," and he's just like sees you, like doing something. The lamp light just shooting in his face, and then turns off or whatever. And then in the darkness, he just can't make out the shush and just keeps going and starts swimming in that direction, just like full blast.
All right. Well, I did roll a 21 for my investigation, so.
Okay. As you get close enough to see but not to touch, you see that it definitely looks like there's some sort of like torrent of air or movement of air, something happening underneath. Something is churning the water, but the consistency of these bubbles is closer to that of oil, it seems like, running off of the like little oil bubbles. Like they seem to be made out of a completely different substance in the water themselves, and you don't see them dissipating at any point as they disappear out to the sea.
All right. And sorry, so like you said earlier, there was like some kind of rock structure, like it was like maybe man-made.
Looking into it right now, yeah, with your investigation check, that's already fine. Looking past the bubbles themselves that are rolling off of this structure, you can see that this almost looks like a basin. It's sort of lifted up slightly on the sides, and you can see hands holding it as if it is holding a saucer of water that this seems to be pouring up and out and over. You can also see in the wall a sort of vague eroded face shape that is sort of looking into the water. But it seems to dive into it like a pool.
So it's like a big statue kind of thing, holding a bowl.
I really wish I could draw this for you, because in my mind it looks really cool. But basically just think of it like it's like a giant statue that seems to be part of the rock itself is holding a bubbling like cauldron almost of light.
And the cauldron is releasing these bubbles.
These sort of like oily bubbles that are just sliding up and crawling over the statue and over the rocks in the wall.
Does there appear to be anything else nearby, like other structures, doors, pathways, tracks? I'm kind of
Looking about, make me another perception check with flat roll because of the general darkness.
it's a 15.
You do see what looks to be there's not paths in the traditional sense, but you can see in the seaweed that sort of surrounds the area, a bit of it you can just make out in the sort of like darkness of it. You can see that there are little places where you think something might have swam regularly, but that's about it.
I don't think this place is going to help us too much. I don't know what to make of it. There doesn't seem to be anybody here. I don't really want to go investigate.
Do each like? Oh, thank God. I'm gonna pull out my empty potion flask. I hit my mic. My empty potion flask, and kind of like point at it, and then point at one of the bubbles, and like offer you the bottle. Just like, or point to me, like,
Well,
back and forth to the bottle.
I don't. Yeah, this could be like some kind of acid. I don't think we want to interact with the bubbles without some considerable protection. That said, if you accidentally get burnt by it, I can cure you. As long as it doesn't hit you more than your hit point maximum in the negative.
So, does the water breathing helmet actually put like a bubble around the hat?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm
That's the way
gonna.
we're doing it.
You can
I'm
kind of
gonna-
just stick your face in there.
I'm gonna basically stick the bottle into your bubble, like into that space, and then uncork it, and then put my thumb over it so I can get it close without getting water in it.
Oh,
Yeah, and I'm gonna try and scoop
Interesting.
up
Filled
some
it
of
up with air?
these. Yeah, so basically it has air in it now. So I
Okay.
can try and put I'm gonna try and put it down on top of one of these small bubbles and try and get it in the potion bottle, the empty potion bottle.
okay. I have not considered that. You got me there. As you go,
You should know,
and-
as a DM, your players are going to do one of three things when they encounter something new. They're going to eat it, they're going to touch it, or they're going to fuck it.
Okay.
I thought
well,
about
we'll
doing
see.
two of those things.
All right. As you do this, I'm going to say, go ahead and make me. Oh, what do I do for this? This is weird.
That's right. You said it was like
Fuck
rolling
it.
along the
Make
rocks.
me
so the
an
goal would be just
Arcana
like
check with advantage,
Arcana check with advantage.
because I know your Arcana's probably not high, but I think this is
it
cool. So I'm giving
It's
you advantage.
terrible. Roll.
Adapt.
That's a 12.
That's a 12.
Yeah.
You know what? I'm gonna say that as you do this, you see light. As you get next to it, you see that these bubbles are sort of like spinning around very quickly. They almost become like violent in the way that they move, and they sort of freak out when air is introduced. As you get the thing close enough to them, they seem to be like sort of grinding against it. But as you get the bottle over and you just try to scoop it, you just fucking brute force it and just. And the next thing you know, you see that these things are like screeching and squealing and just like sort of moving around inside of the bottle. Like it's weird. It's like these little bubbles like sort of have like this sort of like as they grind against themselves. But then you
I will try talking in Elvish and Sylvan to these bubbles and just be like, is anybody here that can understand me? Is there some kind of sentient life here?
all right, so you're just saying that?
In Elvish and then Sylvan.
Okay, so you say that and there's like a moment where there's bubbling and bubbles are kind of like screeching weirdly. It's like soap kind of. It's like a sort of soapy noise. Like it's weird. And then as you realize there's no way that this is a sentient thing. These are just bubbles bouncing around. You back yourself up a second. in my mind, the camera sort of reaches up with you as you sit up, and you see the two of you looking here, and then you see the two guys standing behind you
Okay.
as they just go, as they're looking over your shoulder, and they're just like, do either of you speak Aquan? And a spear is pointed at both of your faces.
I just raise my hands up.
Oh, spear immediately points at the bottle, which is slightly glowing green.
I think they maybe want you to put it back. Or
They're gonna, they're looking at each other and looking at both of you.
I
And they're
put
just
the
like-
cork in the bottle.
As you cork the bottle, they're like, and you see both of them are like, the other one's like, puts his spear on the ground and goes,
Mimics.
and then they proceed to attempt to arrest you.
oh no. Shit. I need a long rest before I can talk to them.
They seem to be like, they're not like yelling at you. They're trying to calmly. These are like very calmly like arrest you. Like it's really weird. They're just like, we're gonna take you. It's the
More
vibe
of
you
the
get
like
off of.
come with us vibe.
Mm-hmm.
While they're doing this, can I try to like just sign to them like we like up there help? Friend?
And you do this, and they cuff your hands together.
Oh. Okay.
And they begin, and so they're like, you're cool with being cuffed,
Yeah.
without saying it, but they're doing that to Mitnir, like, because you're really buff, and they're
Oh,
like,
don't fight them yet,
These-
Mitnir. We might
when you're
need their
looking at
help.
these guys, by the way, one of them appears to be mostly humanoid. Has like shark-like features in his face, and his eyes are sort of out to the side like this, and his body is like, but very humanoid in body with like some like, what are those things called? Webbing between his fingers and toes and stuff. And
Is he a
the
buff
other
shark?
one is he's like a buff shark. He's like a street shark from the 90s cartoons. And then you see that the buddy next to him is like a full-on Lokitha. Just big, massive fish head, just like, and he's just like, with this little.
I bet Cleary would be able to talk to these guys. I could
Just
call
like-
Cleary. If they would let me call him. Do I get one phone call before you take me to jail?
I'm gonna
As you're talking, they're starting. The Lokitha is talking to you, and then the weird shark person. I don't actually know the race of these creatures. Is starting to walk you off into the.
I'm just gonna
a window.
carefully put the flask away first.
Okay.
And
So
then I'm gonna slowly shake my head like no, but then like motion, like
Okay. So he's like,
I'll follow,
he just sort of gestures with his spear. Start walking.
and I'll start walking.
Yeah.
Okay.
We might need their help, so let's not antagonize them. I can talk to them after I have an 8-hour sleep. Okay, so we'll sort it all out then. Maybe they have other people that they're taking us to that can talk to us, and then we can sort it out sooner. So that's fine. I'm definitely not panicking.
As you
He
guys are
like
being,
tries to talk in the water, like be like, and it's like
as you guys start walking, floating, swimming, walking, sort of in a direction,
In here.
away from the bubbling cauldron, as it were.
As my hands are clasped, I'll like bring them up so that I can kind of like activate the ring and stuff. Just trying to like look nonchalant while I'm walking and stuff. Maybe you could just use your return crystal and then get help or something.
Mitnir nods and keeps walking with you.
Okay. As you guys are walking, you find that they sort of stop for a second. They go, as you it's like standing. You guys find yourself like with a little bit of light that you do have. Like you can sort of see that you're kind of sitting on the middle of like the edge of like a trench that goes even deeper. And he's like, "Hey, oh, oh." And you hear what sounds like a whale noise out in the distance. And then suddenly something swims close in the water and goes, away. And then they both stand to the side of you guys. And they part. And then a big mouth comes from the water.
Yeah. Okay,
and
where's
goes,
snacks? Where's snacks? Nope.
And as you guys get swallowed,
Could I
sucked into this thing.
I was gonna say, said he would try to fire off an Eldritch Blast as this mouth is coming towards her. At the very
try
least,
in your bracelets go.
oh fuck!
Mitnir just kind of like pulls you in close, like
Use your
we
crystal,
look at it?
Midnir. Use it.
And as you guys get swallowed, we're gonna go ahead and switch to Grim. Grim is dead.
Yeah, he's putting his kid to sleep.
Oh, I missed the messages. All right, in that case, we will move on to... This has happened twice now that I tried to switch to somebody right as they leave. Bropsy.
Rapsy's still panicking and would like to do a wisdom thing to see if the wind is actually gone or is it an illusion.
As you were looking around, yeah, make me just less a wisdom thing than an arcana check.
What? Come on. This is the wind. This is my
Then
thing.
a nature check.
Oh fuck, which of these is better? They're the same. Oh, that's at least a 17.
A 17. Oh, you know that the air is gone. And it's in your hand.
Oh no. Oh no.
And you're watching as everything is falling from the sky.
Propsy is literally doing that. She's going, no.
And as you're watching things fall, and you're sitting there flying without your wings beating anymore,
Oh god.
there is a moment where everything then stops again. And I need all my other players to mute themselves, or to deafen.
1 second.
Okay. So, as it flashes to darkness yet again, well, just do something else, like play some music for yourself or something. Okay. As it flashes to darkness once again, you find yourself looking at what looks like stars in all directions. It seems like there are galaxies dancing in and around in all places. You see the tree of Selindor, but the bark is black. There are no leaves. This massive, miles-tall tree begins twisting and writhing. You can see things moving. And you see above it burning in every color you can imagine what looks like an eye. A goat-like eye begins searching around in all directions within Selindor. And you hear, "Where have you gone, breath of the dreamer? I will find you and taste of your decadence. Where are you?" And you see all of Selindor, this massive tree, begins twisting and moving and turning. And then back to light, things falling, crashing from the sky, and you see the tree is twisting in the wind that is not there. Moving as you see a churn begin. As the entirety of Selindor begins twisting. And mist begins pouring.
Wait.
And
What happens during a churn? Sorry.
They reorganize all of Selindor.
Yes, but we got locked into a place, didn't we? What happens if we're not in that place? Oh fuck. Okay. Oh,
You
fuck.
watch as the churn happens, and you watch as mist begins pouring in all directions. And you watch as the things that are falling from the sky fall into the
No.
mist. And you see mist happening in all these directions. And you see Selindor slightly change as things rearrange. What would you like to do during this time when it's not?
Things are no longer falling anymore. They're just gone.
Oh, they're falling into the mist and disappearing.
Oh god. Oh god. Oh god. No, 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 no. Please come back. Please come back. I'm like shaking the fracture.
Okay, so you're just sitting there shaking it
Please come back.
in the air, and then suddenly, boom, back to blackness once again. And as you look and see around the area, you hear the same familiar voice going, "Reveal yourself. Hiding will do you no good." And you see that this ring of light is searching.
No, can I hide? Can I hide? Oh fuck.
How would you like to hide?
I don't know. Go down where I'm not in the middle of the air. I don't know.
Okay, so you attempt to go down. I'll say that you can just, as if you were flying, you begin darting down as fast as you can. And then
Or like
you
the
hear,
academy or something recognizable.
"Ah, there you are."
No, I should have stayed still. Fuck.
And as you begin flying as fast as you can, the branches of the tree, now known to be massive tentacles, begin reaching out to grab you. And when we come back to you, you're going to be trying to escape the tentacles.
No!
And
Eat the
everybody else is
fracture.
good. You eat the fracture?
Yes.
Okay, so we'll say
We
that you pop it in your mouth, and that's the last thing that happens before we switch it. Okay, that was fun.
That was not fun.
That entire event, based on that last sentence, could have gone in so many different directions.
That's always my backup plan. Roxy's fucking dead.
When in doubt, stick it in your mouth.
When in doubt, stick it in your mouth.
Okay,
Oh my gosh, my new status.
we still don't have Grim back, yeah?
No. not
So
yet.
I'll tell you what, before I move on to anything else, I'm going to go ahead and say let's take a break now. And we'll be back in just a few minutes, guys, while we give our player a chance to get back. Because I want to do things more or less in order. I don't want to get too out of it, and it's been a while since we've seen Grim do anything. And I want to get his stuff started before we make it too far. But I'm liking how this session is going. And I hope you guys are too.
We are the best snacks.
Or
Yo,
got to
best
see
snacks.
like a naked lady.
Yeah,
That's a big
do you know what she is?
No.
Cool. All right.
Well, we'll be back in 5.
Okay, fine. See you in 5 minutes. My organization fell right off. And we're back, guys. We didn't find a Grim while we were gone, but we decided that we would just sort of move things along because we got to do as much as possible before the session's over. So, turning away from Selindor proper, back to the south, I think. Keep mixing the two, west and south, out. Back to the south, we find through this volcano where Orin had dived, 2 individuals running down a hallway being followed by little shape-shifting fire spirits. You find yourself being tucked and pulled behind a wall, behind a statue, like in a little crevasse in the wall. Running down these hallways, it appears to be mostly just hewn rock where you are, where you can see in the distance that there are aspects of actual architecture where you're currently heading up towards. And she pulls you to the side and she goes, "Shh!" She pulls you close and like sort of just does this, and there's like a sort of like a veil that comes in between you as somebody passes by, and he's like, "Princess, where have you gone, princess?" And you see this massive, hulking, muscular individual with this sort of same jasper red skin, and 4 horns nubbing off of the top of his head with like thick, slicked back black hair, and just the biggest jaw and the happiest, dumbest, himboest face you've ever possibly imagined.
Where could you possibly have gone, Princess? I'll find you any second. Make sure you're safe and whatnot. I like this game, though.
And he just keeps... And you see this massive falchion across his side. She goes, God, Barnock, he is a lot. I love him to death, quite dearly, but he is a lot.
Seems a bit clingy.
Yes. As soon as he was given the job of my personal escort, he has been very... I'll say he's done his job well. Maybe a bit too well. Anyways, we should probably go. I need you to make me a stealth check as you guys are making your way through these hallways, trying to be unseen.
18.
18. That's pretty good. I'll roll for her too, but she's pretty awesome, so. Okay. So you guys make your way down the hallway, and then she as you guys start heading back out from the little crevice where you were hiding, you begin running, and you enter into the Brass Palace proper, where you see these sort of like thick marble columns just covered with these like thick like massive brass rings. And as they go up to the top of this sort of very sultan-like enormous bulb at the top, you can see that there are just metallic steps leading around and shells casings throughout the entire wall with just these white marbles stocking as columns to just give it honestly some contrast, so it's not all one color. The temperature in here is hot but livable. You think that you even feel the effects of the fracture sort of cease, like you no longer need its protection to not boil alive. It's almost like it just releases the power and just goes. And as you guys enter this area, Robert, you see that there are tons of creatures like her and Bardock, but also you see fire genasi. You see creatures that are honestly just walking flames. You see Azers. You see all kinds of denizens of the plane of fire moving about within the Brass Palace. But in the direction she takes you, there are no individuals. And she begins sneaking you up the stairs, hangs a few turns, and with your stealth rolls, you guys are able to make it to her room. She tucks you in behind the wall, into her room, shuts the door behind you, and goes, "What do you call it? Okay. So your name again was
Orin.
Orin. Hello, Orin. You're very pale. Your hair is very like ours, so we might have been able to get away with it a little bit, but if I let you go out there, there was a fair chance someone was going to realize you weren't just a very, very pale fire genasi, and we would have gotten into a lot of trouble.
Understandable.
This is a place, very specifically as emissaries of the plane of fire to Selindor, where no one else is allowed.
Yeah, I still don't know how I got here.
I understand completely. I've done a bit of research on Selindor, and I understand things happen that shouldn't happen here. So I understand completely, but it is very important that you know that going into a woman, let alone, as I'm sure you've heard from Baldark, a princess is meditating in the nude. It's very dangerous, and it shortens your life expectancy tremendously.
Yeah, I could imagine.
Yes. Well, I hope you enjoyed the show. She sort of says with like a bit of a...
Well, I'm not one to stare. I was raised in temple, so...
Oh, so you're one of those eunuchs then?
Nope. Not that kind of temple.
Oh. Well, Hopefully,
But,
you have the same self-restraint as eunuch, because that is what you will need to survive. So,
I am a monk, so
we'll take that
I
as
have great
something that
self-restraint.
means something. We don't have monks where I come from. We have individuals, and some people
Apparently
worship
eunuchs?
fire. I've heard of eunuchs. I heard that people of the material plane like to cut off other people's genitalia to serve better in temples or something. I don't know. You people have a weird history.
Yeah, they don't do that where I'm from, but
I do like that you have horns, though.
oh
They're
yeah,
quite
these are
nice.
new. These are new.
Oh, they're new horns. Where did you
Yep.
get them? Nope, this is not important right now. My name is Princess Calder. My father is the Grand Sultan here in the Brass Palace, and emissary of the Plane of Fire to Selindor. You can call me Callie if you wish.
Well, it's nice to formally meet you, I guess.
Yes, we're already more intimate friends than anyone else who I've ever met. If by intimate I mean that you have seen more than my closest friends have. So, that means
Okay.
we must be good friends now, and that is that. My big question is, though, what is your plan from here? Because I've hidden you and I haven't thought much further ahead than that.
Well, I do need to get out of here, but I don't know how to do that at this time.
Well, I could probably get you out into the desert. There is a garbage chute on the east side of the palace. Now, it gets to temperatures of a few thousand degrees along the tube, but you seem to be fine in the lava, so as long as you can handle that, I think that you should be jettisoned out more or less in the middle of the barren wastes.
Right.
Um,
Would that get me back to Selindor?
Oh, we're still in Selindor, more or less. We're in one of the mist divides, so theoretically, you could end up back in the Plane of Fire if you don't know your way around the desert, but I assume you faded here, so you know where you're going, right?
I kind of got here in like a air channel pocket in the sky. Yep. I don't know how. I wasn't really directing it. I just ended up here.
How very unfortunate for you. Well, hmm.
I do have a thing I could use, but it's more of a desperate last resort.
Okay.
Because last time I used one of these, didn't go so well.
Well, I'll say this. This might be last resort territory. Because I am more than happy to escort you out, as I am having loads of fun with the entire sneaking around experience. It's been a while since I've had anyone to run around with, so I'm more than happy to run around because there's no risk to me. But if somebody sees you with me, you will probably die. So it is a question about whether or not you want to skip such eventuality, or if you want to continue traveling with the princess. I am more than happy to run about and help you find your way out, but I must urge you to definitely understand that if we're caught, you will die.
Okay, that's understandable. I think I will take the chance for now, because the backup plan is kind of just a quick little thing. So if I get caught,
Okay.
I can
Well,
do it.
so as long as you're good with the Barren Waste plan, then we're good. If you don't want to do that, we can try sneaking into my father's quarters, where he has a transportation circle. That would take you back to Selindor proper, but you know, if we got there, I'll probably be in trouble, which, although I don't mind too terribly much, you will definitely doubly die. Not just like a regular death, probably death by 1,000 scorching pokers kind of death, like really bad. Nothing left of you, your soul itself burning eternally, that kind of death.
As someone who's already died a few times, I say, let's go for the father's room.
Interesting person I've ever met.
Yeah, I like to keep it lively.
I ship it.
Well then. So we're going for the teleportation
circle?
She's like,
if it's okay
Very
with
well.
you. If it's okay with you.
no.
I don't want to get you in trouble.
I'm truly excited about this concept. Let's begin.
All right, then.
And we'll cut away from that, and as we go over to see what Grim is doing. Grim, you remember being a vulture. You remember slamming your face headlong into something that smelled swampy.
Yes. I'm
You feel
probably not
something
a vulture anymore.
poking you in the back. As you slowly come to consciousness, you hear, "But what is it?" "I think it's a person." "It doesn't look like a person. Look, it's got eyeballs all over it right there. Oh, they're squishy."
Oh, no, don't touch
I don't
my
know what you're
eyeballs.
talking about, Chrissy. But I
Wait.
think... Wait, are you talking?
Am I talking?
Well, I don't know. Were you trying to talk?
No, it's okay.
As you tried to talk, you just hear your own voice go... As you realize you are face down in mud.
Then I will take my face out of the mud.
They go, "Ah! Oh no! Oh no!" You hear as they sort of giggle and run behind stuff. As you come to and look around, you see that there are strange crystal-like trees rising out of swamp and rock and wet and murk.
Oh, beautiful.
And you can see the glowing Crystal City in the distance. But where you are, all you can see are shanty shacks, swamp, and the dark. And behind it, what the fuck? Sorry, I just had a lot of Discord updates all at once, and they're all Beelan playing Idle RPG. Just like brum, 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 nonstop.
Shanties and stuff.
Sorry. Still going. As you as you guys or as you look around, you see peering from behind a rock, very sizable rock. You see what looks like the strangest gnome you've ever seen in your life. They have granite-like skin, and their hair looks like it's made out of wire, like actual steel wire coming out of their head. They've got like a overly sized nose, but still sort of button cute. And you can't tell what gender they might be or anything like that, but they appear young. Sitting behind them, you see in shorts and overalls, short overalls, if that makes sense, shorts to overalls. More like shorts with suspenders. You see an individual with curly red hair, somewhere between the face of a child and an adult in a way that is so hard to describe, and a perfectly consistent, almost pained-looking smile on their face.
Well, that's fun.
Behind them, you see a bunch of crystals stacked on top of each other that are hovering and moving with each other, and little marble-like eyes staring at you with like this sort of perfect ooh-woo glisten.
Well, Grim would say hello to the gnome in Undercommon.
Oh, that's a good question. Do they speak Undercommon?
If it's a Swift Neblin.
And so what?
If it's a Swift Neblin, I don't know how to say it all the time.
What do you speak?
You're underground and there's a bunch of rocks and stuff. I'm gonna speak it to them in Underground.
Combat, history, society, relationships. This is an older race that's not from 5e, so.
Yeah, the Idle RPG was spamming me.
Oh, yeah.
My adventure finished.
Crazy.
20 times.
Yeah, sure. I would imagine that they would understand Undercommon. That just seems right.
They're not a deep gnome?
They are not a deep gnome. No.
They look like a deep gnome, though.
Is not a deep gnome.
Well, just in case they understand it, that's what he's talking.
And he's like, they're like, he speaks the same language as that my mom does. Oh no! Constantly smiling, but like, that's really scary.
I'm just gonna pull out my multipass.
This looks like a
Take
devil
all the-
clown child that is sitting behind this rock, size of a full-grown adult, but with like a childlike face, and he looks terrifying. Like this smile that's really scary. It's very unnerving to look at this entity.
Well, Grim is Grim, so he's not bothered by that. He will pull out his seal and say, "Show me the map."
As you pull out your seal, you see that the mist doesn't form properly.
Well, that's a bad sign. Like, tuck it away. Well, that's number
you
one.
See, there's a
failed.
little wheel that has like the little markers for the areas of Selindor that you have access to, and this one does not light up.
Yes, that's a good sign. Of course. I guess the seals only work in the city though, anyway, don't they? Like the actual city, not the outer areas. I don't think so. We got them when we got in the city. Anyway, so Grim will say, "Okay, where is Grim? What is this place?"
What are you?
I am Grim. I am
Yeah.
a Furbolg.
What are you? Furball
don't
is
know
a
what-
what?
It's it's like big guy lives in the forest, talk to
And as
plants.
sort of like crystals like stack on top of each other, they sort of make this noise as the crystal rubs together.
Crystals are talking?
Yeah.
Why are your crystals talking?
Chrissy, he's scary as heck. He's heckin' scary.
I'm not scared, I'm just a mushroom man.
And they hide behind the rocks again.
I speak crystal.
And then you hear the man-child thing again go, "Are you here to eat us, Mr. Furry Bolg?"
No, Grim does not. Grim only eats berries.
I'm 20% berry.
No, you're not like Grim's berries. Grim's berries are different. Do you want a berry? Grim will gonna make you a berry.
Oh wait, what's this character's name again? Damn it, I hate when I do this. Oh yeah, you hear the other one say, "Yeah, Gabe's aunt's name is Barry."
No. Grim will cast good berry and make a handful of berries. Like, here,
Is
this
that how
what-
you turn from a bird into a flat person?
No, that's Grim was a bird because he was flying and he did not want to fall and die. Do you want a berry?
Chrissy says they heard your neck snap really hard when you were a bird.
These birds are not very strong. They just kind of, they're very light. They break easy.
Yeah, I've experienced that. Can I have a berry?
Yes, which one's this? The little gnome?
Mm-hmm. The little gnome comes running out, takes the berry, goes,
They go.
and you can hear
Yeah,
as they walk like if they touch stone, you hear stone grinding on stone. Like it's
That's fun.
as they grab it, they go,
Gabe, you can have one too if you want one.
I
Just
can
I
have
made
one
them.
too.
I have a whole
Oh,
handful of them.
Kitty. And as he sticks in his mouth, you see his razor sharp teeth lining inside like shark's teeth.
Great.
Yeah.
I don't know. Does Chrissy eat?
Chrissy. You see like little like bits of crystal begin folding out and just take it and just skewer it, and you can see the marble eyes roll onto its back, and there's like 12 of them, and they're all just like circling around it as this little thing comes next to it, and they're like just super like glistening looking eyeballs just staring straight at this thing, reflecting the good berry in them.
don't know if that's a yes or a no. But, that's okay.
Chrissy doesn't speak Undercommon. Chrissy doesn't speak Common. Chrissy doesn't speak any of the common lamans.
She just speaks rock.
No, Christy does lots of chimes.
What's
We
that?
know what the chimes mean. The crystals just chiming against each other, just like little
No,
clips.
she probably can't understand. Usually, because she's a rock. I can talk to plants and animals, but she's a rock, so that probably won't work.
I think technically they are a rock.
Yes, I don't think she counts as a what you can talk to. Oh well. Well, anyway, where am I? Where is this place?
Home.
Okay.
This
do
is
you
home.
Know,
It's
you know
home here.
Do you know anything about a really big tree?
And he points back, and you see that there is roots coming out from the underside of this that are supporting the main structure of the nexus above and the tree of Selindor. These roots are wrapped around what looks like a giant floating crystal underneath.
Okay, so we are sort of still there.
Well, you're still in Selindor. This
So
is the crystal undercity, but you're sort of outside of it.
Do these crystals seem like we were in the place with crystals before, weren't we? Were there crystals on the way to see that dragon? Or am I imagining? Maybe that was just mushrooms. Or was it both?
We saw the crystal above the city that's underground when we were delving the first time.
Which is where you are.
Which is where I am, but just like in a different part of it.
You are on the north side. But where you are, it appears that this section is sort of like a shanty town. You are on the very edge of a swampy dock that sits where the Underwhelm and the Crystal Undercity meet, but not on the side where there's massive and like man-made structures that sort of push into it, which you guys would have known about if you've ever visited here before. You are on the other side, the uncivilized side, the underdeveloped side.
Great.
You are in the slums, and this is called Swampside, is the name of this region.
Great. Do any of you know how to get up to the top?
You turn into a bird and fly. We saw you fly.
Well, I can only do that once. So.
Oh no!
Yeah, I know, it's sad.
So you're never gonna be a bird again?
I mean, unless I get some sleep.
Oh, I'm sorry.
What, you don't sleep down here?
Oh, I'm just sorry you can't be a bird again till you sleep.
It's not that bad. It's like just a few hours.
Wow, you don't sleep very long.
Well, how long do you sleep?
5 years.
Oh, that's a long time. You probably should not sleep that long.
No, I haven't had my first sleep yet.
That's probably why you look so tired.
I'm not tired.
How long have you been before you... How long has it been?
I've been around for a bit.
Okay.
How long have I been around? He says to how long have I been around, Kobe? I don't know. I met you like... I don't know. Like 3? Maybe 5. I don't know. 3 or 5.
3 or 5 what?
3 or 5.
That doesn't mean anything.
You don't mean anything.
This is true. A term does not mean anything. Well, anyway.
Yeah, you're just a dumb bird.
I am very dumb. No, I'm not. Not right now. I'm only a grim, not a bird now. I guess I will see you around.
Do you want to come to our hideout and hang out? Because you've got a big old bump on your noggin.
I mean, I could, but my friends will be wondering.
Though, because
my friends are going to wonder where I am, and we have there's a whole thing. We got to go talk to these people now that we did this thing, and it's gonna
You
be
have
very.
friends?
No, I mean, people I travel with. I don't really know most of their names, but
Oh, I have a friend. This is Kobe.
Yeah, and you're his friend, and then
This
there's
is
the Rock,
Gabe. That's not a rock. That's Chrissy.
Chrissy.
And you see
Sorry.
these crystals like sort of jumble all over themselves, and then you see like little legs pop out in all directions, just like, and they just sort of turn to a ball of crystals and start rolling around.
Hey, so I don't have long. I could probably come look at your hideout, but I can't stay very long.
Oh, and then they just start like traipsing in like a little line, like they're having a lot of fun walking along the rock path that sort of heads back into the shanty town. It's up to you if you want to follow them. These kids are kids.
Yeah, they're kids. I don't want to be the creepy old purple with the kids. That's not complete. Is there a way? I'm gonna make a investigation perception check. I don't know. Investigation check. See if there's a way up somewhere. A path up. I guess I'll investigate.
Yeah, let's do investigation. Sounds good.
20.
With a 20, you look around from where you are, and you can't move very well in the swamp water, in the mud and the muck. But from where you are, you can't see any discernible. It's just sheer cliff face running, and that's like miles across water. Like it's just the place where you are. There is no convenient way up within seeable range. Like it's
But
just
I came through that cliff. I came from the cliff.
you came from the cliff and just like flew across. It felt like a second, but you traveled a lot further than you thought you did.
Well, I guess I'll go look for a grown up then.
Okay. Are you just ignoring the kids and just going look for a grown up?
We're like, have fun at your hideout. Grim has to find the grown up.
Okay, bye. And you watch as the little kids sort of take off and continue having their fun. As you go look for a grown up, we will switch back over to Seti and Mitnir. Seti and Mitnir, you were just swallowed. Didn't hurt. You're not dead. But as Mitnir holds you, and you do this, and you both have your eyes closed, you begin to open one eye and then the next and look around, and you find yourself sitting on a very soft but damp cushion, air all around you, and looking out through this, whatever this is, you see the ocean floor again, but now there's light everywhere. There seem to be pathways, like if you were a modern person, might look like road lights. You see streets, you see bioluminescent fish moving about. The ocean that was once pitch black is now a light. And you see these fish people on the outside sort of knocking, and it sounds like they're just knocking on glass. Like, okay, so you're doing okay in there?
Yes?
Maybe.
Where?
Okay, cool. I'm glad that the translator's working. We're gonna head back on into Coral Reef, okay? Because you guys were trespassing on sacred hidden ground.
We didn't mean
Okay.
to. We got lost trying to go home, and we just need to get back to the surface.
Oh, okay, cool. Well, we're gonna bring you guys to talk to the council because they say anybody you find around there, you talk to the council. And if you guys are totally innocent, man, they'll probably just send you guys back on up with one of those big old glowy ring things. Am I right, Phil? Yeah, I think that's what they're gonna do, probably.
A glowy ring thing on the ground?
Oh, well, in the ground, floating on water, whatever. Yeah, man, there's lots of ways that they put those. Sometimes they have them on the wall. Sometimes they're like kind of like a ball.
What's the vibe I'm getting off these guys? Do they seem genuine? Are they putting on an
The
act?
vibes that they have coming off of them is you're seeing two fish people that mouths are obviously not moving, and they sound like just like Canadian level nice.
I'm angling for an insight check into that whole.
Make an
They'll
insight
probably
check.
send you.
Is she still handcuffed?
Yeah.
That's a 19.
A 19?
To see if I kind of like basically believe them about like, oh yeah, they'll probably just send you straight back up.
There seems to be like a little bit of doubt in Phil's voice, where it's like, probably send you straight up, but the other one's like, oh no, yeah, they're for sure. You guys seem like good folks. So anyways, we're just gonna take a little trip over towards Coral Weave because that's the closest city. How you
Why
guys
is
feeling?
that-
You need some snacks?
Well, yes, but why is that ground sacred?
Oh, I don't know, man. I'm just supposed to keep an eye on it. I'm part of my routine. Like I'm supposed to be one of the. When do I check? Tuesdays and Wednesdays, Phil? No, you're Tuesdays and Thursdays. Holy shit! Today's Wednesday. Yeah, I don't know why you're here, man. Oh shit! I had the day off. Yeah, you had the day off. Oh shit! And you
So
guys start
the
moving
dumb
to
one
water.
is the one that was like, oh yeah, they'll definitely send you back straight back up, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
That's the shark one, by the way, is the dumb one.
Gotcha.
He's-
So it's
He's not dumb. He's innocent and naive.
he's a himbo. All right. Okay. Thanks, Seti. God, I'm so tired.
I love that you said that with the accent.
A himbo. Shit. What is this place? Like, what goes on down here? What is the weave you're taking us to, and this thing that we're in?
Coral Weave. Yeah, man, it's a city in the underwhelm, man. Like, so we're gonna head over there, and you see the sort of shark swimming next to you. Like, yeah, we're gonna bring you in there. You guys don't seem to have the proper documents.
We fell out of,
Right.
the big tree up above the water.
Oh yeah. I've heard of trees.
We were flying around in the air, and we fell out of the air and wound up here. Total accident.
Hey, what's flying, Phil? It's like swimming, but like not in water.
Yeah, swimming above the water.
Oh shit, that's
And
fucking
above
trippy.
the ground.
What? Whoa! Well, anyways, so you guys are like swimming, and you can see them through this, like you're inside of this sort of glass something. It's weird. But as you guys continue, you see like these lights kind of passing over you, just like these sort of like floating lights, nothing attached to them or anything, but you sort of have yourself on this sort of pathway, like a highway, and they're just like sort of swimming next to this thing.
Do you guys get many visitors?
Oh yeah, man, it's really bustling down in Coral Reef, but most people come with the proper documentation. They don't just come like zipping through the water. You guys swim really fast when you want to. I'm surprised we caught you.
I'm gonna pull out the seal thing. Just like these things, documentation.
Yeah. When we come across somebody, there's a small chime on this one, and he takes his out, and it's like a little. It's made out of like seashells but it has like the same sort of mist stuff, and he's just like, see, it chimes when we come across somebody that we haven't seen before if they've got the proper documentation. You guys didn't chime, so we know that you don't have the proper documentation.
Where do we get the proper documentation?
Oh man, you gotta talk to somebody on the council, or maybe you gotta like pay some sort of membership fee. I mean, I don't know, I was born down here. What do you think, Phil? I mean, yeah, you guys gotta go through the proper channels for that, man. I mean, there's like a whole embassy thing. There's a immigration if you want to move here permanently. I mean, you guys know how it works. You're from up top, Selindor. You know they got all their.
Sorry, I know this is rude, and I don't mean to impose, but seeing as you didn't cuff my friend and nothing bad has happened yet, I was wondering if I could.
Oh yeah, we had to cuff you because you're definitely a magic casting type. We just take one look at you. You got like all kinds of magic coming off you, like Fey energy, man. Like we know you can just like make our heads turn into like popsicles or something. So we were kind of scared.
Can
Oh,
you make their heads turn into popsicles?
no, I can't actually. I can't do that. I'm not that powerful. I mostly just like make little images and like
Hey
dancing.
Phil, you remember what happened to Frank last time we had a magic caster down here? Oh yeah, Frank. Oh, Yeah, he wasn't a blowfish, but he is now.
But do you guys like music?
I mostly just play music. That's all I do. Sometimes the music has magic in it, but it doesn't.
It's probably a long trip,
You know,
right?
it's-
You would
it's
like
just
some
fun.
music.
I've never done any lollipop heads before. I don't even know where I would start at how to do that one. That's a new
All
trick.
right, well, you guys are inside the. I forgot to give it a name. The to be filled later. You guys are inside of that thing. It's basically until the transport's done. You guys are just gonna have to stay in there. The proper procedure.
Do they look like strong handcuffs, or do they look like?
Well, I was gonna. Do these look
Shells.
like basically the same thing the grung had me in? I mean, I know that was like a living thing, but like, is there? What's the
No,
mechanism
this
like
one,
on these?
This one appears to be made out of some sort of like opalescent coral bits, and small like pearl beads. Like
I want it.
they definitely appear to be magical.
Yeah, I don't think we can break these.
I mean, I can try.
Yeah, I definitely heard you guys say I don't think we can break those. Because he's swimming next to you. Translator is like a really good amplifier, picks up all sounds, guys.
Yeah.
So please don't break those. They're very expensive. I already had one break last week.
I don't want to break them. It's just I told my
Look,
friend
it's,
that
it's my job to make sure that everything is handled with proper procedure. If you guys can't respect that, then maybe we'll have to get a little hostile.
no,
And
I
don't want
totally
that to
respect
happen.
it. Look, I said I knew it was rude to ask and probably not, but I had to try. It's just
Oh
there's-
man, I respect you trying to escape. I would do it too.
I'm
if
not
I
even
thought
trying
I
to
was-
escape. I just want to send a message to a friend of mine. I think the place we came from, it was floating in the air and then it vanished and so we fell. And I think
Yeah, these concepts are going way over my head.
the place we came from,
Okay.
it's gone now, but other people are trying to go there. And if they try to go there, they will probably die. So I really wanted to be able to tell my friend not to send anybody to the place we came from because they will.
Oh man, that's a really big deal. Do they get a phone call, Phil? Yeah. Yeah, they get a phone call. Oh, okay. Hold up a second.
Call clear.
Oh, he just pulls out his thing and call clear.
I've had it out. I'm just like,
Yeah, so as you pull it out and go
Call
call query, it doesn't activate. The same as his, the mist starts to form, but it doesn't, and then you just see that there is a small like beep of light where the under one would be, and you don't have access.
hey, does yours make phone calls too?
Oh yeah, but
Is it the
you
same?
know
Like
how
when you
these-
open it, does it look like this?
Oh yeah, more or less. Kinda
Call
same.
Cleary.
Yeah.
Nothing happens. Like no, you gotta like sync these with other people, man. It's like
I
it's like
can
a tap thing. You tap your phone together.
I can make phone calls with my magic, but I can't do it if I'm bound like this.
Okay, well, make a persuasion check.
I was trying to pull the Alexa, like
Use your puppy eyes.
Yeah, she definitely is, and that is a 28.
28. All right. Well, just don't attack us, knock us unconscious, and escape, because that happened to me and Phil last year, and I got demoted.
I would never do that. We probably need your help to get up to the surface anyway.
Because like I used to be like chief guard, and he's like he sees the whole thing starts slowing down. You're coming from the creature. You're inside, and as it opens up, you see like water floods in and darkness still all around you. As it comes, you go. Coming from his mouth as he goes over there, and then like you just feel something as they release, and then as it closes back, you see the water starts to slowly drain, and your vision comes back with the lights and everything.
All right. Thank you.
he in a stomach.
Can
There's
I-
a stomach.
Can I make 2 calls, one for him and one for me?
No, he can make a call, and you can make a call.
Well, but he's not able to make a call.
Oh no, that's well, I don't know, Phil.
I'll make the call through her.
Oh yeah, no, that makes sense.
Like I'm his phone.
No, I think I'm gonna allow that. I'm gonna allow it. Are you sure, Phil? I'm sure. Phil says it's okay, so but don't do anything tricky.
I won't. Thank you,
You
so
go
much.
first.
All right, so I will send a message to Cleary first
Mhm.
and say, dungeon vanished. We are scattered. Don't know where others are. Mintnir and I, prisoners, going to Coral Weave in Underwhelm. How many do I have left? 6?
I think so. Yeah.
I forget how much we told Cleary before we left.
I know we told him we were going to the dungeon.
Yeah. Tell everyone. Dungeon is gone. Info?
Okay, there's a moment, and then you hear, yeah, we kind of know. That's it.
Oh shit. Something bad is happening in Selindor, I think. Okay. Boy, I really wish he had said more than that, because I only get one more phone call, and I don't want to waste it trying to catch up with him if he can't. Alright. Okay. Mintnir, would you like to place your call to the captain of the airship that might still be flying around somewhere, possibly looking for us?
Is that gonna help us right now?
Well, they might know where we are.
I know where we are. We're under the water.
Okay, but you can't help us get out of here. Not right now. Is there someone more important you would like to place your phone call to?
Might be worth talking to a certain lady.
Well, I don't know what they could do for us if Selindor is falling apart.
Yeah, I guess we could call the airship person, but we might need to contact other people when we get the opportunity.
I will need a nap, but if what happened to where we were is also happening to Selindor, I would imagine that the Fae have retreated to the Feywild if they could, and people with airships might be in high demand right now. But I don't know, that's just a guess. That's like panic thoughts.
I mean, I guess call the
You guys
captain.
notice that the thing, whatever this thing is, this transportation, this vehicle of some sort is, it is moving still.
Okay, alright. I will call the captain of the ship that we just jumped off before the dungeon.
Okay.
And I will say, new death here. Dungeon gone. Obviously. Party scattered. If you could locate us and help, we will pay well. Also, what's going on up there? It sounds bad. Is that 15-ish?
No, that's
What?
it.
That's it?
Yeah.
I thought I had 2 more.
Go.
Mitnir was repeating all of this after you said each word to make it look like Mitnir was saying it, and then you were relaying it.
Gotcha.
You actually went 3 over.
I went 3 over. Oh shit, I'm sorry.
Yep.
Okay.
Okay. I'm not exactly sure how this spell works, but if it's possible for you to tell, that person is not on this plane.
Fuck. So it just wouldn't go through, I think.
Fuck.
I think
You can send us a-
sending
Oh,
works.
okay.
plane?
So yes, so it does work on other planes, but if they are on a different plane, there is a 5% chance that the message doesn't arrive.
5% chance that it doesn't arrive.
Hmm.
Can they still reply to you on a different plane?
I assume
Yeah.
so. Yeah.
Okay.
I
That's
guess
good
you'd
to know.
roll again for the reply, though.
If there's a 5% chance, we're going to roll a D100. Roll a
You
D100.
should just roll a d20. 5%
Just roll a
chance would be a natural
D20.
one.
Okay, that's fine. Roll a D20. If it's a natural one, you doesn't work, which is basically nothing.
Okay.
Pointless.
It's a 12.
12. Okay, so there's a longer pause. Then you hear, "Hello, dear. Bit of trouble with us at the moment. Don't think we can swing by anytime soon. Best of luck to you in your ventures. We'll find you when we're back in Selindor."
Right. So they're gone too. It sounds like things are really bad at home, up above the water. Boy, I hope they don't need us desperately.
Gonna
Being
knock
as
on whatever
we're
this shell is.
A little tied up right now. All our friends could be dying right now, you know. So
Does this thing go faster?
that would be great.
Oh, yeah, we'll try to speed things along. Okay.
And then you guys continue further and further in. We'll pop back up to Bropsy. That seems like a good
No,
place.
thank
to pop.
you.
No, thank you. If you want, I can move back to
It's
Orange
fine.
or Grim or-
Let's just go.
Okay. I'm gonna go ahead and let everybody keep their headphones on because why not? I just don't want to feel like dealing with it. So, Bropsy, as the darkness subsides yet again, you find yourself flying in the light in a direction. Things are falling from the sky, and you just popped this thing in your mouth.
Mm-hmm.
There's a moment, and nothing happens. You burp.
I just want to keep it safe or as safe as I can.
You feel air inside of your belly, and then and as you blow, you feel air begins to flow again. And as you breathe, you feel the breeze in and out.
God. Oh god, I hope I'm not breaking you by doing this.
And as the mist begins to settle on the churn that's happening, you see that some individuals, some airships are starting to right themselves in the sky.
Oh, okay, I'll take that as a good sign. Okay. We got. I'm like talking to my own tummy now.
And as you're talking, you see the airships getting buffeted by wind at the same pace as your voice.
Oh no.
So as you are chirping away and trying to fly, you're still diving down, right?
Yeah. I want to try to find the
Selindor Academy?
university or
Mhm.
the Yidrisma if we could.
Okay, so you're just looking for familiar ground. Make
Yeah.
me a perception check.
Oh boy. Okay. That's a 13.
13. With 13, you can definitely make out Selindor Tower. It is a few miles away.
Okay.
But you can see the academy.
Mhm.
You can see that it is in the water, and it is to the south or west, to the west.
Okay.
So it's back past closer to where everything was falling out of the sky in Selindor.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Looking in that direction, though, there is a moment where you see a lot of things beginning to right themselves, and then suddenly you see them frozen in the air yet again as everything goes black. You see the stars aligning in all directions. You see the twisting, mangled, true form of the tree of Selindor.
Mm-hmm.
And you hear, "Do you really
think you can escape me? I need you to make...
No.
I need you to make some athletics or acrobatics checks against these massive reaching tentacles that are coming for you. 9? As this massive comes towards you, it eclipses your entire view, darkness in all directions. And you see as it reaches out to you,
Could I turn into a fly?
you're going to turn into a fly?
I don't know, something that can fly and is very, very small.
I mean, do
harder
you have
to
a wild
grab.
shape?
Yes.
Okay. Roll an initiative check to see if you can get ahead of it.
I fucking hate. I got a 6.
You got a 6? Well, I rolled a natural 20. So as it reaches out to grab you, you see this thing, and as it makes contact with you, the second it does, you feel searing pain rock through your entire body, and you see visions of countless realms flood your vision for a half a second, and you are going to take some damage.
Okay, good thing I was at max though.
That is 22 points of psychic damage. And you are thrown backwards at an incredible speed. Your vision blacking out as you are coasting, and you feel immense pain and your chest is burning.
Mm-hmm.
But you are still alive if you still got hit points. And you see glaring in the distance this burning ring in the sky.
Now I'm gonna turn into something small that flies.
So you just... And as you turn into something small that flies, it goes...
Wait.
You're so adorable. Thinking that will work on me.
I don't think it will, but fuck you!
Weird. As he... as fast as you can away from this thing. The entire tree is swelling and reaching out towards you. And as these tentacles begin to grip towards you yet again, back to light. And you see that the actual tree branches are reaching out to you, beginning to stretch and mold in your direction. Selindor itself, you hear the cries of people as weird shit is going on. So, what would you like to do?
Cry? I don't
Well,
know.
you're
I'm
currently
gonna keep flying. I don't know what else to do.
you're currently some sort of flying critter, so a very little one. So, I guess I basically just need to know: are you just gonna keep bolting towards the academy, or are you gonna attempt something different?
I don't know what else I can do. I genuinely don't think pass without trace is gonna work here. I can't even do it in wild shape.
You certainly can't do it in wild shape.
Fuck. I can't windwalk, right? Because it's broken. Fuck.
All right.
I'm looking at all my things. I don't think I have any other options.
Okay, as you continue zipping just as quickly as you can, as this tiny little fly, just these tree branches beginning to stretch, like elongate unnaturally in your direction, like the whole tree is looming after you. And then suddenly, back to blackness.
What
Everything
was the
else is
name
frozen.
of the wind breath guy?
Zephyros?
And at some point she would have just cried, Zephyros, please help me.
Okay, as this thing begins to swing at you yet again, I'm going to actually have it make an attack roll.
Oh god.
Against your fly's AC. I'm going to give it disadvantage, actually, because your fly is so tiny, and this is Okay, well, that's not good. All right, what'd you get?
I
Or
don't
what's
even
your-
know what to roll. I've got to fucking find a.
I imagine the AC of a fly is
Very
surprisingly
low.
high.
Yeah.
If you consider how hard it is to hit a fly.
Yeah. What?
You know what?
I'm looking at the
We're just
monster.
gonna say that it swings at you, and let's not worry about it. Let's move on. I don't want to take forever on this.
Mhm.
As this thing, massive tentacle, miles compared to your fly-like form, begins swinging down on you. There's a moment of true panic. You say, "Zephyros, please help me." And in that moment, you feel a gust of wind behind you, and the next thing you know, you are plummeting at breakneck speeds as a fly. Just
God, okay.
at speeds that do not make sense, and you hear, "Not fearing again, are we? You'll regret this first breath." And then suddenly everything is back to normal. The tree recedes to its normal shape, but you are plummeting towards the Selindor Academy at breakneck speed. And some things are starting to right themselves in the sky. Some of the floating islands you had seen are gone. One of the floating islands you had seen is currently half of what it was. As if it was split down the middle.
Mhm.
You see that there are fires
Oh boy.
in Selindor. And you can still hear the cries of panic
Okay.
as you begin
Perhaps he
heading
is at
down.
this point also crying and saying, "I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I'm so sorry."
And then, with that, we're going to go back to our good friend Oren,
Mhm.
who is currently trying to figure out how to escape from the Brass Palace. So, how good are you at sneaking? If you had to rate yourself on a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being a big fat Trask, and 10 being like the tiniest little fly that could just fly on the wall. No one ever noticed you. How would you rate yourself?
Maybe like a 7.
Well, that's very modest of you, or you're terrible at sneaking. Because I, my friend, am always a 10. But let's go, Finn. Follow quietly. And you, Mushy, you can stay where you are. And you hear... It's this little flaming gopher just like falls on its back and turns into a hedgehog and just starts rolling on its back. Well, let's attempt this. So as you guys begin bolting down the sideways, or like the between the pillars, like pillar to pillar, dodging behind vases and pieces of art, trying to blend into some of the art pieces. Go ahead and make me a stealth roll, just for the general whole thing.
13.
13.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. As you guys begin sneaking, and she's like sitting there, and she's like holding her position. Like you guys get in front of a tapestry, and there's like 2 bodies that are basically the right shape, but then you go do this or whatever to like match it. It's like in a cartoon kind of thing. And like they pass by, the guards pass by, and then one of them's like, "Man, what the fuck?" And turns around, and the next thing you know, you have your wrist grabbed, and you guys are sprinting through the halls. And like, "Hey, stop him! He's kidnapping the princess!" And they begin chasing you through the hallways. I need you to make me an athletics check as you guys are running up these stairs, breakneck speed, sliding around the marble, and she is laughing her ass off.
I will say, when we get noticed like that, I have these smoke bombs, so I'm gonna poof one.
Just like, "Hey,
The
where'd he go?
mask
He's got some
trail.
sort of tricks. Chase him down." All right, so you guys are sprinting through the smoke, running around, like all this action's happening. Go ahead, but go ahead and make me an athletics check.
All right.
Or acrobatics, whichever one you prefer.
Well, I rolled athletics, so we'll just go with that. 24.
24? Holy shit. Yeah, so you guys are you start like climbing up the tapestry and like make your way, jump across onto the higher level of a balcony. And she's like, it's through here. And you guys start running, and she's just like laughing at them as they continue like running around, coming out of the smoke, like, where is she? And then you see Bordak at the bottom going, oh, I know where she is. Ah! And begins running like full speed up the stairs. Chaos is breaking out now in this brass palace as everyone's like, the princess has been kidnapped. Dong, dong, bells are ringing, gongs are ringing. Anything that can be rung is being rung. And you can hear like the sounds of like calls and infantry like stomping around. And she's like I said, instantly murdered. And just keeps running with you up the stairs. And as you guys keep running, make me one more athletics check.
21.
21. Nice. So you guys see there two guards in front of the door. They're like, oh no, you're not getting in here. And they run to get you, and then she grabs you and pulls you down, and you slide along the floor into the past the door as they're trying to shut it, and then you just see her middle finger go up as she slides through the door with you behind her.
And as we go through the door, I lob a smoke bomb behind us.
Oh, nice. Smoke fills the area behind you. As you guys sit inside, they're like, they're in the king's room. He has the princess. Who knows what he'll do? As they close the door behind you guys are in this room and it's dimly lit. You hear, whew. All right, let's get you out of here. This has been loads of fun. And you hear, daughter, what are you doing? And as you turn around, you see this massive form sitting in a chair behind you, probably somewhere around 15 feet tall, of bulking jasper-colored muscle. You see like his veins actually have fire inside of them, twisting and writhing up his muscular form. You see that he's got a crown of actual flame sitting above his head, and small horns coming out 6 across the row of his head. What games are you playing today, daughter? Hi, Daddy. This is a friend who got... And she just looks at you like with this face of like, I am so scared. What you got?
Yes, I am.
You have my permission. Never speak to my daughter again. Be gone.
She looks at you and she goes,
I'm
we'll
gonna
always have...
slyly pull out my seal and be like,
Call me. She's just like,
Amazing.
make a sleight of hand check. Make a sleight of hand check.
it's to be future friends. But yeah. Blade of hand? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I ship it.
20 total.
20 total?
Yeah.
So as you pull it out, she's like, you're right, father, we shall never speak again. This ingrate can go. Here, I'll escort you. She begins like, she takes you by the arm and shoves you, and then you hear the tap of hers touching yours. Just tap. She's like, be gone with you, peasant.
And I'll graciously bow and be like, thank you for allowing me to live.
Indeed. Live you might. Be gone!
And I'll make my way to the teleportation circle.
Kelly, if I have to deal with another one of your disturbances again, I swear to go.
You swear to what, Daddy?
Oh, right. There's no such thing.
And they sort of laugh together.
And if right before I teleport out, toss a smoke bomb in the room.
Just...
What?
What the fuck is...
What a chat. I raised you better than that.
Where were you? You're going to some place. The Summer Grove, I assume?
Yeah.
Okay. So, as you step into the teleportation circle that you navigate to be the Summer Grove, you find yourself zipping through and opening your eyes to a bunch of fire. And we will leave you there and move back to Grim. Grim, you are walking through the swamplands and you hear, as you begin walking, vibrations. You can feel them and hear snapping and cracking, and you can hear the tree up above just sort of creaking.
That's always a good sign.
And you can and you can see like just bits of rock that from where you're looking look very small, but you know are probably like 30 tons just dropping from the ceiling down onto the crystal undercity. And you see the kids are just like, whoa, just falling off of their little walkways.
Yeah, no, you got to be careful. Apparently, something's happening. I don't know.
And just up above, and you watch as one of these rocks starts coming down in your general area. I mean, this thing is massive. The size of a small convenience store is dropping on top of you from above.
Well, I'm going to run and pick up the kids.
Okay. Just tentacles out, just...
Yep, grab the kids. I can only grab two. Be like, come on, Chrissy. The least likely to die, but let us run wherever it looks like it's not going to land.
Okay, go ahead and make me an athletics check.
Oh dear, a 10.
A 10. As you are beginning to make your way through, you see that this massive thing slams into the ground. As it does, a shockwave pushes you forward. You launch. You're able to tuck them in, but as you slam against the stone, you take 7 points of bludgeoning damage.
Okay.
And the rocking continues and intensifies, and you see more and more stuff is falling from the sky. You begin to see that the water is shifting and rising as the underwhelm itself is sort of getting displaced by something else that must be falling into it. And you begin to lose footing more and more. Do you have any solutions, or would you like to just keep rolling athletic checks to see if you can save these kids and survive?
Well, is there anything that looks like sturdy around us?
Looking ahead, all the crystal trees and stuff seem to be shattering at the impact.
Right. Any stone, like any giant, like in the cliff face, are there any like alcoves or anything?
A perception check.
Okay, with the perception. Oh, it's freaking. Anyway, 13. It was on 15, and then it moved.
13?
I'll say with a 23.
You do see one, but it is actually going to pull you further away from town. There was a small little hovel, and it is in the side of the rock.
Okay, but you said that's further away from town?
Yes, it's heading further away.
Well, that's not good. That's going to take a while to get to, right?
No, it's going to be... I would say that if you're going to run that direction, it'll be safer than going the other direction.
Oh, well, then we're going to go that direction. If we can get out of the way of the falling rocks, we're going to go that way.
So as the falling rocks go, go ahead and make me another athletic check.
Okay, as you begin big money, no whammies. I suck at rolling things.
What'd you roll?
I just can't roll over 5. I rolled a 1.
Natural
one. Yeah.
Okay, as you begin heading that way, you see that the place where all the shantytown stuff gets rolled over by just pillars of what was once like a stalagmite or a stalactite hanging from the ceiling, just slams into it. As it crumbles, you see probably where these kids were going gets destroyed. And splinters of rock fly out towards you guys in all directions.
Oh no, our hideout, it's broken.
You're going to take another 7 points, lucky roll, of bludgeoning damage as you slam from the shockwave against the ground.
Perfect. As I'm going to...
You can see the kids like... and you see them like... oh,
look at myself.
Still smiling.
Well, we're going to keep running for that thing.
Okay, one more check.
Another athletics check. We rolled another natural one. Oh, we rolled a 21 this time.
21. As these rocks begin tipping over, you see that this large stalagmite that had dropped into the ground is now tilting over and falling towards your direction. The only place you can go is down into this little alcove that you saw from a distance. You're running, you take the kids, and you begin stretching them forward as you dive. Them first, you following. And as you slide in, you're going to take 10 points of bludgeoning damage. As you
Whoa.
slide in, you find yourself underground in darkness. And the kid's going.
Well,
You
is
just hear them,
Chrissy
like,
there with
huffing and
us?
crying. Yeah, you can
Did
hear like
Chris-
some little crystalline noises.
Christy made it. Okay. Well, I'm gonna pop on my little light, I guess.
Okay. So looking
They,
around,
like-
the immediate thing that you see is a smiling half child, half adult face going.
Be like, are you little guys okay?
Crying.
Okay, Kobe,
while still
are
smiling.
any of you hurt?
I don't think so. I think I'm fine. My leg kind of hurts.
And you look and you see that there's like a chip missing out of his knee.
Just a little chip. I'll give him just like a little level 1 cure wounds.
Okay. Easy enough. You just mend it.
You're really cool, Mr. Furrybulg.
Mr. Furrybulg. And then I'll give myself a level 2 cure wounds because I need that.
You still hear a whole bunch of like rumbling coming from up above, but it does seem safe for now.
Yeah, we're gonna stay here until there's no more gigantic rocks falling on us. I hope you're all okay with that.
I'm definitely okay with that. Bleh. Throws up on the ground.
Perfect.
It's just a bunch of pebbles.
I don't have great water on me, do I? Clean that out. Or it's
So
like
as
there's
you
a
guys
pebble.
settle in and you hold these kids close to keep them safe, as the rumbling happens, we'll cut away from Grim there. And we'll return to our underwater crew, who are getting phone calls. Always,
It's just-
every time I
doesn't
switch to
matter.
somebody.
Yeah, no matter how you do it, it's always going to happen.
Be right
Yeah,
back.
I was
while
here
it's
every
up,
time.
while I'm
I was
last
just
in the
also eating
rotation.
at the same time.
I mean, you could switch to me, but my thing's sort of done.
I think you're probably okay for now. You're going to be there in the burning Summer Grove. He's going to be, when we start the next session, we'll pick up with you there, I think. And then Grim's going to be in this cave with the kids. We just got to ideally get something figured out for those guys. But we'll get back to that in a second. Bropsy, will say that as you are flying in your fly form, you make it to Selindor Academy.
Thank God.
You land on the grass, and as you tumble into it, you come back to your full form.
Mhm.
And you settle on the grass, and as you're breathing heavily, you see that there are torrents of air going around. That your own panicked breath is making it very scary. And then, as you find yourself attempting to settle, you see, even from the distance, you can still see like the fires happening in the Summer Grove.
Mhm.
That there are pieces of rock still sort of falling from the sky as crash ships.
Oh boy. Okay.
And
I'm gonna take a-
one of the floating islands made it past the mists and landed and cracked into a section of Selindor.
Oh. Okay.
And there's a very fair chance that a lot of people died.
Yep. Propsy is still crying. She was still crying as a fly, if flies have the capability to cry. But she takes out a piece of paper and scribbles it down. Help Cleary / headmaster.
Mm-hmm.
And then like goes and trying not to speak to cause more damage. We'll show that to people and try to figure out how to find them.
Okay. I'll say that you head off to go find them, and that's where we'll pick up with you next session.
Okay.
Is seeking help from Cleary and potentially, hopefully, the headmaster, as things have gotten a little bonkers.
Completely under control.
completely under control.
Could
All
I call
intended.
them with my but I mean, I guess I would try to call them.
You
but
could
they
probably
also
you
don't
have
work.
one call, so you could call Cleary. You've never met the headmaster, unless it's the
Okay.
University of
I'm
Phoenix
gonna
headmaster.
call.
You have
I'm gonna
his.
attempt to call Cleary.
Okay, so you call Cleary. Cleary, there's a moment of like it's sort of like mist forming, and then you see Cleary's face sort of appeared, a bit panicked, and he goes, Ropsy, are you okay?
I don't know.
Calm down, dear. Calm down. I can't understand you. I know it's hard, but you have to be strong. And tell me what's going on, so I can help.
He's after us. He's mad,
Oh dear.
and he's looking for me.
Oh dear. Head into the tower immediately. Go into the tower. Go back. Go to the headmaster's door. Do you remember where you went to the headmaster's door?
Do I?
You were there.
Uh-huh.
Go to the headmaster's door. Knock twice. And tell him that you need to seek asylum
Mhm.
from the goat.
Okay.
Do it now.
Okay. Mhm.
Do it now. Go.
Okay.
And he hangs up. And as you begin running through these hallways, you see that whatever this was running on, a lot of it has stopped working.
Oh.
As you go through the tower. And as you enter, you see that there are a couple of collapsed buildings. And you can see that there are rescue efforts happening. But whatever happened, whatever the shift was, you're not sure if it was from the wind going or if it was from the tree moving like it did
Mhm.
that broke so much around it.
Mhm.
But you know that pretty much all of Selindor was shaken, except for in the very far distance and in the underwhelm, where nothing seemed to matter at all.
Mhm.
They might feel the shockwaves sometime, but for now. And you run by and you see some injured people. You begin heading towards the massive clockwork
Running
door.
by while still muttering, "I'm so sorry."
You find yourself running and you see the large clockwork door where you had been before on Logic's Landing.
Mhm.
You arrive at the door. What do you do?
God damn it! I have. Hold up! I will make this sound. Headmaster, I need asylum from the goat. Please tell me you're here.
As you begin like crying at the wall, at the gate, at the door, you see that suddenly it begins to twist and move and open up slightly. And he says, you hear coming from inside, not this old doddering voice you're used to. Go, child. Our perception chamber. Safest place for you now. Go. And you see like a hole appears in the ground. It just begins spiraling down.
Like a stairway down? Or
No, it's like a tube.
oh,
Trust, child. Go.
can I insight why he sounds different?
Sure.
That's kind of scary. 23.
23. Whatever this entity is, it is ringing in your skull. And the vibrations are coming off of the bones, and you can hear it. It is not psychic communication. It is not sonic communication. whatever this conversation is, it is happening at some frequency that is vibrating your bones. And whatever this entity is not what you thought it was.
Huh?
Trust,
Gotta go down the chute.
child. Go for your own safety.
I go.
As you jump in, for a moment there's darkness as it sort of spirals behind you and closes up. And then you see there's a sort of glass lit tube, and you can see that the tower itself is the mechanics of the tower itself crunching against each other, trying to, like, you can see all these like creatures crawling around in the gears, trying to keep them working, keep them from falling apart. You see small pieces of the tower shifting and breaking. Whatever energy it was running off of seems to have been severed. So they're trying to fix the mechanics so nothing breaks anymore. And you can see them like all over the place, hundreds of these sort of strange mechanical creatures. Like the ones that come out that with the mustaches that are tube-like, but then some that are much bigger that have like strange, like really boxy frames. Some of them have humanoid parts, some of them are purely robotic. And as you're like descending this glass tube, just in your own at your own pace, you don't feel any resistance at all. You're just zipping straight down towards the apperception chamber, which you can see below. You can just see the inner workings of the tower. And then as you collapse at the bottom floor, not collapse, but as you reach the bottom of the floor, you find yourself in front of the door with the code panel for the apperception chamber, and it opens the second you approach.
Okay.
You go in.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. As you head in, it closes behind you. And you are in the apperception chamber. And we will leave you there then.
Continue to bonus action cry.
Bonus action cry. I'm gonna go see what Sim's up to. I don't know what's going on. But
Perhaps they would
if
probably
she-
also start writing, like, what happened and big old apology letter.
Oh, okay. Well, as you're writing, I'm gonna go honestly just ask him what's going on.
Mhm.
He's AFK. I'm gonna run AFK really quick.
Mhm.
So I'll be really confused.
Write an apology letter to Selindor. It's like, sorry for breaking you.
And to all of you
Our city, it's broken.
for not being able to help any of you.
I'm fairly certain it is just a work call. Like somebody from work just called her. And it's just like talking her ear off.
Yeah.
No respect. No respect.
I ate my Pop-Tarts.
Nice. Well, I guess since Sim is distracted, we'll just pick up there, I guess. You guys are on your way to Coral Weave. If you're the underwater troop.
Moose
Somebody
not
is-
there.
Yep. Somebody is surrounded by fire in the Summer Grove. That's Orin, you know. He went from a hot place to a less hot place, but still on fire. And then Grim is hiding with some children inside of a cavern in the Howling Divide. And Bropsy is crying herself to sleep in the apperception chamber.
Is she safe there?
Do I get a long rest?
You can take a long rest if you'd like.
I mean, it'd be nice to get my full thoughts back and get
You
healed.
guys, yeah, but I mean that just means that you're there for 8 hours, like you're sleeping. So that's what taking a long rest means. So yeah, if you're ready to like take a long rest, then go for it.
Sorry about that, everyone. I'm back.
That's okay. We're just ending the session.
Yeah, I figured.
I only have 10 minutes to try to do anything more with you guys, so I'm just calling it.
Yeah, sorry about that.
That's okay. I think I did the best I could, considering everybody kept going in and out every single time I tried to move from one thing to another. This is exactly why I asked you guys. I was just like, do you guys just want to do like individual one-on-one sessions or whatever?
Well, you know,
and
it
then
kind of
we
just
go together?
and instead we turned into this madness.
That's okay, because at least we all got to play a little bit as opposed to just doing nothing for a week. So
Yeah.
another week.
Well, and it was good because I was like gone a lot of the time.
Stuff comes
So,
up, stuff happens.
there
It
was
was
other-
just,
there
everyone's
was other
having a
people
rough
who
night.
were doing stuff.
Yeah.
You know, so it was good.
So, anyways, that happened for you guys. I did mess up a little bit. Orin, you were supposed to see that beneath you were actually steps. When you were in your little eggshell thing, there were supposed to be steps below your feet. That it was that were sort of leading down into the lava.
Well, I was just hanging on to that fracture, floating.
Yeah.
there. So
It's my
never
fault I got
touched the ground.
distracted, but you were supposed to have noticed that those were there. That there was something beneath the lava. My bad.
It's fine. It all worked out.
Now
You did it?
Grim is
How
a
many
dad
people died?
I mean, I don't know that.
I mean,
the adoptive
none
father
yet.
to
I'm
3 rock
underwater.
people.
All Orin knows is he ended up in a volcano.
Yeah, Bropsy's the only one
And-
knowing that we fucked up the world.
Some princess, a spa thing. I
We
don't know.
didn't
man.
do nothing. We
You
didn't
took
do
your wife.
diddly.
Hello. Mhm.
Yeah, you just stepped out into the summer grove. You're like, did I go to the right place?
We
It's
just
on
blame
fire.
Cleary. When we get back, we go, Cleary, we were gone for 5 minutes.
It's been 6 years. No, I'm just kidding. I'm not doing that.
Oh, man,
no.
we must have so many diamonds in the jar.
Oh no, I gotta go
That would
find.
be nice. Silver lining.
Gotta go find
It's just
Ernie.
boom, and it's just like
Yeah, Ernie. I don't know,
Diamonds
where did
flying
you
over.
have Ernie last? Do you remember?
I believe Ernie was. He
wasn't
would have
at
either
the,
been. He would have either
zoo?
been in the tower.
Mm-hmm.
Like he would have just been like hanging out in the giant
Wasn't he at the
penis
Summer
tower.
Soldier's place with you?
Mhm.
Like when we all slept there the night before or whatever?
I think he
think
might
so.
be with one of the hags.
Or he could, yeah. So he could be with one of the hags. He could be at the
I
Summer
think he's with the
Soldier.
hags right now.
If he's with the hags, he's fine. The hags are fine.
Maybe they give him a potion to be fireproof.
I do have to go to work, so I'm gonna wrap up the stream, and you guys can keep chatting if you want afterwards. But
All right. Well, I hope everybody had fun. It was kind of a chaotic session. People were physically
all over the
not-
place, all over the
And
place.
Yep.
every time I tried to cut to somebody else, they were away from their computer.
It happens.
But that happens.
But yeah,
Thanks,
chat, thanks for being
children.
here, Jordan. It's good to see you again. Sorry we don't get a lot of talking time during these games. Chaos. But we appreciate all of you. We hope you all have a great weekend. Thanks for being here, and we probably will be playing again next Friday at 5 p.m.
Awesome.
So we hope to see you there.
And
everybody-
remember, we did it for the rolls. You have to say that if you're doing all the other stuff. You got to
You
say we
did
did it
it.
for the rolls.
You did it for me. We're good. We're good to go.
We did it
We
for
did
the
it for the
rolls.
roll.